Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you coming home, son? I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we're gonna have a good time then. Well, I'm gonna do you all a favor by not singing that song because there's some things I can do well and some things I can't. Singing falls into that category that I can't do very well. So if you're in my age group, you will definitely recognize that song. It was a song that came out in 1974. I was 12 years old when it came out. And it's called Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. We all have heard that song. And when I was 12, that song meant nothing to me. Sure, it played on the radio all the time, but I didn't understand the lyrics. Fast forward to me being 64, and you re-listen to those lyrics, those lyrics are probably going to go down as one of the top 10 songs with profound lyrics in history, at least for me and perhaps my age demographics. So when I was 12, 13, I'm going to use my father as an example. He was my hero, my best friend, and we did a lot of stuff together. I realized that he did so much for me. And then when I got to be 14, 15, 16, I discovered cars and girls. And while the time that I had for my parents definitely went down and my time was spent, my friends were the most important thing in my life. My parents were just old people in my eyes at the time, of course. And so I'm going to fast forward to me at 64. I have three daughters, grown daughters, age 36 to 43. And the other day, I called all three of them. Now, this was a Sunday morning, about 10 o'clock. I had enough consideration. They all have children. I had enough consideration to realize that probably breakfast was over. None of them worked on the Sunday. And the kids, of course, didn't have school. So I called all three of them. Well, guess what? None of them answered, but all three responded within minutes. One of them said, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" The other one said, "Hey, Dad, just a bit busy. What's the matter?" And I texted back immediately. I said, "Here's what's up. Answer your freaking phone." It's a surprise that these communication devices that you all have, they can text and you can go on Facebook and you can learn everything. They have AI, but there's another feature they have. You can actually phone somebody and talk. Well, as a father with grown children, I've had to learn a few things. Now, I'm just going to start by saying that if I got older, or even at this stage of my life, if I lost my dependents and I had to go into assisted living, or if I needed them for any reason, they would be here in a heartbeat. You know, they all live within 4 hours from me, and they would be here. I have no doubt about that. But what I do miss with them is, so for example, if I call one of them up and I say, "Hey, why don't you come down this weekend? You know, I have room. Bring the kids and let's spend the weekend together." "Oh, Dad, you know, the kids have hockey and I'm busy. I work so hard this week and I just want to relax. But we'll do it soon, Dad. We'll do it soon." And many times that soon doesn't come. If I want to see my children, you know, luckily I'm still able to drive. I have to drive or fly to them. And I don't think it was like that when I was younger. I can remember going to visit my parents a little bit more, but that's not the way the world is now. And we may think that the world is easier for our children, but I really don't believe that's true. Yes, they have more conveniences, they have more technology. They might have it softer in some ways, but they don't have it any easier than we had. They have so much more on their plate, so much more stress. When I started work, I didn't have emails. I had office memos. Now, our kids, when they're at work, they have numerous text messages, emails, social media responsibility, whatever it is, they have more on their plate. And the way that I looked at this is that, you brats, you know, I gave everything to you when you were younger. I gave up finances. I got wrinkles and gray hair from you, all the nights of worry. I did everything for you, and how dare you not treat me with enough respect that you won't call me on the telephone and you won't come and visit me. And I really had to readjust that. And that's just the way life is now. So I guess my question is, should we take this personally when our grown children, when it feels like our grown children don't care about us anymore? Well, no, we shouldn't. Because if you think back in different ways, we did this to our parents too. Maybe not with the disrespect that kids show us nowadays. For example, my daughters will question everything. If I say something, they'll fact check me. They will do whatever they have to do to make sure that what I'm saying is accurate. Where when my parents gave me advice, I listened, and and they had the authority. If my teachers gave me advice, I would listen to them. Well, the kids, and I say kids, I'm talking grown adults. It's not like that, and it's better because it's going to make them stronger. And I'm really glad where young people are going nowadays in many ways. Now, I'm not going to get started on the political correctness and the inclusiveness, but I will say that my daughters have friends that are, for example, that are gay, and they include them in their life, and they make them. They're just as much a friend, depending. Doesn't matter what their sexuality is, and I think that's just wonderful. And it's not the way that it was when I was a kid, right? So that's just one example of it. Um, but kids are much more concerned about our environment. They're much more concerned about their health and well-being. My 18-year-old granddaughter the other day, somebody asked her if she was going to have drinks after dry grad, and her response was, "No, I don't want to screw up my liver." At 18, our response would have been, "Yeah, absolutely. Who looks old enough to get into the liquor store to get our booze for us?" So in many ways, kids have it, or kids are doing a little bit better for this world and for their environment, and the population in general than what we did as baby boomers. But the point is that when I realize that my children have their own life, they have their own kids, they have their own spouses, they have their own career, and if I feel like they're putting me on the back burner after everything I've done for them, I've learned that I can't control that. That's the way that it is. That's the way that society has raised them. That's the way I probably contributed to raising them. But what I have realized that I can control my reaction to that. And as the Stoics say, that's you can't control the world. You can only control how you react to the world. And that includes your thoughts as well. So I have learned that if my kids call and say, "Hey, Dad, we're going to come down next weekend," and even if I have a plan that can be broken for dinner with a friend or something, I'll accommodate my children. And the old me would have said, "Well, the heck with you. I got plans." But no, if the kids are willing to come and hang out with us, then I take advantage of that, and I definitely accommodate them without any kind of a prejudice towards the fact that they wouldn't come when I asked them, for example. So our adult children, like I said, I think they will be there for us in our time of need, and our time of need will come, hopefully much later, but our dependence will diminish, and hopefully they will be here for us, like I was for my father. My father was healthy till he was 88, until he wasn't, and then he went into assisted living. And at that time, I spent pretty much every day coming up to visit him after work, even though I was busy. I had a life of my own. I would go visit him because I knew that he needed me at that time. And I think the same will be true with our children. But I just don't think that we can expect our children to treat us the same way that we were taught to treat our parents. And I just think that's the world we live in. So we can go with it or not. It's our choice. I've chosen to accept it, and I've chosen to value every second that I can spend face to face in person with my daughters. And whatever it takes to do that, whether I have to drive 9 out of 10 times to them, or if I have to break plans because they on the spur of the moment decided to come visit, if that's what it takes, then that's what I'll do. So I was just curious, and I'm just wondering if anybody else had experiences like that or felt the way that I did. And if you haven't listened to that song in the last little while, "Cats in the Cradle," it's a good song to listen to again, because from a perspective, from a parent whose kids have moved away, it really hits home. Anyway, have a good day, and if you like this little video on my thoughts, give me a like or subscribe would be great, and see you next time.